that dance! That dance in the opening sequence is just so epic. Usually you wouldn't see something like that in a Cyberpunk series, but I am super glad that the producers thought outside the box and made the opening credit sequence super entertaining with dancing and car chases and fisticuffs and a cute robot girl. So in episode 2 of Dimension W, the collectors agree on recruiting the robot girl for their team after the mechanic brings her in, and of course the mechanic and robot girl become partners for this episode's mission. So at the museum place where apparently this big robbery is going to take place, robot girl dresses up for some reason, maybe just for some cute service. It's like fan service but more kawaii, and the two go after Loser, a fancy robot looking guy who seemingly fails at robbing things, and yet he's this big celebrity somehow. How does that work exactly? Are the people in the future fascinated with losing? Is society losing, so society connects well with losers? And there was me thinking that Loser was going to be like the main villain of this anime. I mean, he definitely looks the part and he's definitely powerful enough to match up to the mechanic guy, but he doesn't seem very evil, so I'm not really sure what direction that character will go in. It is an interesting setup though. A celebrity robber who fails all the time? Well, whatever sells to the people in this world. So then Loser tells Mechanic Guy that he knows all about the mechanic and what his background is and why he's so overpowered despite not relying on powerful coils. I suppose that removes quite a bit of the mystery surrounding the Mechanic Guy, and maybe it was too early on in this series to reveal so much about our main character. I wanted the mechanic's background to be fed to us little by little, rather than using the majority of this episode to tell us why the mechanic is so badass. So anyway, Loser and the mechanic fight their way through the museum, which is like some kind of Indiana Jones shit where you have to get through all the traps and enemies within the building, and it makes for some cool action here and there. Loser gets what looks like a small coil, and then two robot twin girls with illegal coils inside them explode after a fight, and they cause a dimensional collapse, which is not a pretty sight. It's well, coils weren't exactly going to be perfect, were they? Meanwhile, Robot Girl finds out where Loser is getting communication from via illegal coils, and it's pretty underwhelming. It's an underwhelming part of the mission because it was so bloody easy for Robot Girl to do all that. Couldn't she be more challenged for a second episode? So yeah, this was an okay episode 2. It had a nice setup for the Loser character, but I think this episode could have spent more time developing the relationship between Robot Girl and the mechanic. I thought that that was the direction which this anime would take now, since the last episode put so much effort into naturally getting those two together. I'm glad it avoided that cliche of, you know, two partners getting together and not getting along at first, but still, this episode provided an excellent opportunity for those two to develop their relationship, but it just didn't. So I didn't really care that much about those two working together for this mission. I felt like something big was missing here. Oh well, maybe we'll get more development in the next few episodes, although it is looking dim at the moment as this episode revealed way too much about both leading characters. I need a reason to care about those involved, and yes, I am annoyed that this episode repeated the pre-opening credit exposition from the last episode. Why did they do that? We get it already.